Hey Connor, why don't we make a fight on Wembley?
Forget about Tyson Fury. Alexander Usyk wants a red panty night at Wembley. Usyk, who was earlier expected to face the Gypsy King, was left empty-handed after Fury versus Francis Ngannou was announced earlier this month. The Ukrainian still wants to fight Fury, but if the Brit doesn't want the smoke, he'll fight the biggest star in combat sports instead.
I have no ambitions besides one ambition is to fight Tyson Fury. I saw that Conor McGregor put some significant weight on his body. Hey Conor, why don't we make a fight on Wembley?
McGregor is a huge fan of boxing, and he surely wouldn't mind locking horns with the heavyweight, although there is a bigger chance of a zombie apocalypse than a boxing match between the two happening. As for Fury, he said yes to the Ngannou fight only because he's being paid way more than what he earned in his most recent boxing fights, according to boxer Carl Froch, who said, quote, "He sent me a message saying, listen, it's about the money. It's the biggest fight in heavyweight boxing." That's what he said to me. I said, "Are you getting paid more for this fight than any other fight you would have taken? A bigger fight than Alexander Usyk?" He was like, "Yeah, it's a bigger fight. I'm getting paid more than I would have got." Fury reportedly earned $25 million in his last bout against Derek Chisora, after receiving similar sums against Dillian Whyte and Deontay Wilder in recent years. Money surely talks. So is Nate Diaz being paid to take a dive against Jake Paul? Before we dive deeper into that story, please subscribe to Takedown MMA and turn on those notifications. Thank you. We are only less than 2 weeks away from the highly anticipated boxing match between Nate Diaz and Jake Paul on the 5th of August, and many fans believe the MMA legend will lose. Not because Paul's better, but because Diaz is allegedly being paid to take a dive. It's worth noting, by the way, that Tyrone Woodley, Ben Askren, and Anderson Silva were also accused of taking a dive against Paul, but Diaz wants the naysayers to cut the crap. Like, what the
Tell me you're not gonna take a fall against Paul.
Everybody
says that to me. I'm like, are you kidding me? You couldn't pay me all the money in the world to fall on anybody ever. I'm like, what is that?
If there's one thing we know about the Diaz brothers, it's that they are absolute gangsters who love winning and will never embarrass themselves for a few $100,000. As a matter of fact, Diaz respects his opponent a lot. He considers Paul a real challenge because of his dedication to the sport, and that's why he's fighting him.
I could see his passion in fighting, in boxing, just the way he trains and talks about training.
Yeah.
And I know, like people who start training with me, that when they start training a little bit or just touch it, it overconsumes their whole life, just like it did me when I started, too. So I could see that in him, and I could smell it in him, and I could see how he puts all his everything into it.
Yeah.
And I know that's a guy you got to worry about, and that's a problem, and the confidence too. That's just like Conor came on the scene like that, and he's coming on the scene like that, and no matter how they go about it, you could see the passion in it. But I've been in there having that same passion the whole time, and it's still going, and I still believe that I'm here to make history too.
Diaz also had some good news for UFC fans.
Like, will you ever fight again in the UFC?
Yeah.
You will?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know when that would be?
I'm gonna get this fight done with, and then everything changes with everything. Fight. People don't understand that everything changes with every fight.
Who do you think will win? Men of culture, where you at? Paige VanZant recently sent her followers wild by choosing an unusual way to market her husband, Austin Beneford's business venture. The former UFC strawweight turned social media star has amassed a huge 3 million following on Instagram, and the couple is using their social media popularity to generate more revenue streams. Recently, Vanderford posted a cheeky photo of VanZant sunbathing, with all that was in view was her backside with an NFL card resting on each of her cheeks. Turns out, VanZant was promoting her husband and MMA fighter Vanderford, who sells and trades NFL cards when he's not fighting. Here's how fans reacted to Vanderford's expert marketing skills. One Instagram user said, "Homie keeps getting me in trouble with the misses. Like, I'm just looking at cardboard." Another said, best advertising I've seen. Needless to say, Vanderford's stock is going to run out soon. Robert Whittaker has broken his silence on his loss to Dricus du Plessis at UFC 290. Whittaker, who had only lost to Israel Adesanya at middleweight, suffered a shock defeat at the hands of rising middleweight star du Plessis by TKO in the second round. A victory would have earned the Aussie a second go at Adesanya's title, but with a crushing defeat, he knows he's going to have to work his way back up yet again. Whittaker is ready for one last roll of the dice.
It is what it is. I do believe that this was the kick in the ass I needed to really take me to that next level. You know, it helped me align a few of my goals, and like goals of titles and winning and beating Izzy and now Dricus. It's I want to finish my career never losing again. I want to finish my career undefeated from this point.
The Reaper understands that he let many people down with his recent performance, but while he can't change the past, he can certainly work for a better future. The plan for the former champion is to not lose a fight moving forward and ride into the sunset on a high.
I let down my coaches, and I know they don't feel that way, but I do. I let down my coaches, I let down my fans and friends, but I don't know, this feeling, I am using this feeling as energy. I am using this feeling as a drive, because I don't want to feel like this again, mate. This isn't how I want to finish my career. This isn't the feeling I want to experience again. And the only way not to feel like this is to get back into the gym, train like a savage, and get back into the octagon sooner rather than later. Through no fault of my own, the fights have been further apart than I would like, but I aim to change that.
Will Robert Whittaker reclaim the middleweight title before he retires? Khamzat Chimaev looks like a savage ahead of his highly anticipated middleweight title fight against Paulo Costa at UFC 294. Chimaev last fought at UFC 279, where he was expected to main event against Nate Diaz, but was demoted to the co-main event against Kevin Holland after missing the welterweight limit by 7.5 pounds. Not a surprise, especially now that we see the Wolf all jacked up. Costa was originally booked to face UFC newcomer Ikram Aliskerov at UFC 291, but the fight was recently canceled, and the two were booked against separate opponents: Costa against Chimaev, and Aliskerov against Nasruddin Imavov at UFC 294. It's crazy that people actually thought Costa was going to fight Aliskerov. As good as Aliskerov is, Chimaev is definitely a bigger fight, and Costa is promising a masterclass when the cage door closes in October. Quote, "This whole thing is a big 4D chessboard. The checkmate's coming fast. This is going to be called Paulo Masterclass when it's finished." Costa also took a subtle jab at Israel Adesanya for representing China during his kickboxing days. Quote, "Which country should I represent on October 21 in Abu Dhabi against Gourmet Chen Chen?" Who do you think will win the middleweight clash between Paulo Costa and Khamzat Chimaev at UFC 294 in October? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. To stay up to date with the latest happenings in the world of mixed martial arts and boxing, please subscribe to Takedown MMA and turn on those notifications. Thank you for your continued love and support, and we'll see you in the next one.